He's normal, just like any other little boy. Sorry. I know the last time I took him to a park, there were some kids that told him he looked like a monster, and he hasn't been back to that park ever since. So I had to tell him that I had to tell him that he's not a monster. He's just been through a lot. He goes through a lot. Hey, Amari. Hey, doing okay?
Yeah.
Okay, you ready for some lunch?
Yeah.
I actually knew when I was pregnant with him that it was like a 50-50 chance that he would come out with his genetic condition. Come on, little bud. Amari has a condition called NF type 1, which is incurable, and which causes tumors throughout his skeletal and nervous system. So it just causes a lot of problems throughout his body, which the growths can come up anywhere on his body. Amari has one of the worst cases that you can get. So he was taking chemo medicine for a while and it seemed to help a little bit, but he's not been on it for a year or so, just to see how the tumors act. Put it on there. So this year we probably have to start him back on some kind of chemo medicine because it looks like they're starting to grow back or grow a little more and faster. It's a lot, it really is. As he got older, it got more noticeable because the tumors grew. I'm trying not to get emotional. It was hard, it was very hard when I found it.
First things first, I wish this kid all the absolute best. I wish this kid all the good luck in the world. I really do. I want to get straight to the point. Straight to the point. We need to stop normalizing, having kids no matter what. We need to stop normalizing it. Like this idea of, oh, you should still have kids, even if there's a chance that you could pass on a genetic defect, a genetic condition. No. We should start normalizing this thing where it's okay to say, I don't want children because I don't want to pass on a genetic defect. I don't want children because I don't want my child to become disabled. I don't want to have children because I don't want them to have tumors. All these things. We need to start normalizing that it's okay to not want children to prevent these future children from having genetic defects. It's okay. It's okay to say that. It's fine. It's actually cruel to bring a child into this world knowing that there is a chance of them getting a genetic defect. It's actually cruel. Yeah, it's really cruel. 50% chance. There was a 50%. Listen, for those of you that don't know, when it comes to neurofibromatosis, that's what NF stands for, neurofibromatosis, there is a 50% chance of you getting that if one of your parents has a faulty gene, because that's what causes neurofibromatosis. It's caused by a faulty gene. And if one of your parents has that faulty gene, there's a 50% chance you will get this genetic condition. So for anyone who is thinking about having children, think before you have children. If you know that you have very bad genetics, or not necessarily very bad, but if you know you have some kind of genetic condition within your history, ask yourselves, is it worth taking a gamble with somebody else's life? Because when you're bringing a child into this world, that's what you're doing. If you bring a child into this world, you are gambling with that child's life. So ask yourselves, would you wish this on yourselves? And if the answer is no, then ask yourselves, is it worth bringing a child into this world knowing that there's a chance that they could inherit this genetic condition or any other genetic condition? Ask yourselves, why would I bring a child into this world just to inherit this genetic condition? Because you see, now this child is is already experiencing a lot of bullying. Was literally called a monster, It's all good for the mother, but what about the child? The mother doesn't have this tumor on her face, but the child does, and now has to suffer the consequences. I know this is going to sound redundant and needless to say, but it is very important to say because people don't think about this. All of this could have been avoided if the mother simply didn't have children. Again, I know it's redundant, but again, it's so important. Despite how redundant it is, despite how obvious it is, this is stuff that people don't think about. This is why it's important to mention. So people, this is why I would encourage people to not have children. But if you're going to have children, at the very least, think critically before you choose to have children. Because again, this is playing with somebody else's life. This is playing with your future child's life. I'm not saying this to be manipulative. No, it's the truth. It's not going to affect you. It's going to affect that child that you bring into existence. So think critically, Check your medical records, please. Check. If you're thinking about having children, check your medical records. If you find out that you have a genetic defect after checking your medical history, then please refrain from having children, because having children knowing that you have a genetic defect and that you can pass that on to your future children is cruel. Let's call a spade a spade. That is cruel, man. And so now your children are the ones that are going to suffer because you chose to bring children into this world for whatever reason. And it was unnecessary. So yeah, do take this into consideration. Also, look into anti-natalism as well. Look into anti-natalism. Remember, these children never asked to be born. So even if you don't have a genetic defect, right? Remember this, if you bring a child into this world, you cannot guarantee that that child will be satisfied with life, all right? Remember this, when you bring a child into this world, you are gambling with someone else's life. You can have all the good intentions in the world, of, I'm going to raise my child to be this and that, and it's great. But what if your child grows up and isn't satisfied with life? Then what are you going to do in that situation? You can't undo, bringing someone into existence. You can't undo that. Anyway, let's normalize not wanting children because you don't want to pass on a genetic defect to that potential child. Let's normalize that. If you wouldn't want that genetic defect for yourself, why pass that on to a future child? Something to think about. This has been a Thought Provoker. Take care.